Chapter 10. It was still 3 minutes past 2, and it looked like being that way for some time yet to come. Cornelius, Tuppe, Anna and Arthur Corbould were now in Jack Murphy's garden shed. Cornelius was in a state of near to absolute fury. "Bastard," he snarled as he paced where he could in the crowded outhouse. "Bastard, bastard, bastard!" The reason for this uncharacteristically uncouth language was quite specific, and it did not concern certain remarks about vermin and livestock. It concerned a certain silver car and the loss thereof, because when Tuppe, Anna and Cornelius had carried the unconscious Mr. Corbould from the Four Horsemen, the car was gone. Someone or something had stolen it. "Bastard!" shouted Cornelius Murphy. Tuppe upended a pail of water above the head of Arthur Corbould. "I bet that would have woken him if it had come out." The small fellow peered up into the upturned pail. "Smack him about a bit," said Cornelius. "With pleasure." Tuppe hastened to oblige. "Let me," said Anna. "My hands are bigger." What and when?" Arthur Corbould came alive. "Stop hitting me!" "Where is my car?" Cornelius demanded. "I haven't got it." "But I bet you know a man who has. The AA fairy, was it?" "I don't know. I was supposed to collect it. You've got the key. Keep this mad woman off me." "You're in big trouble," Cornelius told the protester. "Big trouble." "You'd better let me go, if you know what's good for you. Untie me this instant. Notice I didn't say this minute. A little bit of humour there to lighten the situation." Cornelius took up the electric drill. "I don't want to waste any more time at all on you," he said. "So you will now tell me everything I wish to know, or I will drill out your eyeballs." "Heavy," said Tuppe. "That's perhaps a little drastic, isn't it?" "Not at all. It's being firm but fair. Arthur understands that. Sacrificing an individual for the common good. He'd do the same if the situation was reversed." "I'm sure I wouldn't." Arthur Corbould squirmed uncomfortably. "Well, I'm sure you would. So speak up or get your medicine. It's nothing personal." "Hasta la vista, baby," said Tuppe. "Oh, come off it." Arthur strained at his bonds. "Let me go. The drill doesn't have a plug on it anyway." "That's okay. The shed doesn't have a power point." "Eh? I was meaning to ask about that." Tuppe gave his head a scratch. "Let me go, you." "I think he's going to use the V-word again," said Tuppe. "Let me." Anna took the drill from Cornelius. "This needs a woman's touch. You two step outside for a moment. Notice I didn't say minute there, Mr. Corbould, but it shouldn't take too long. It's knowing just where to stick the drill that matters." Arthur made one of those big Adam's apple gulp jobs. "Now, just you see here." "We'll be outside if you need us then," said Cornelius. "I think I put my fingers in my ears," said Tuppe. "What with all the screaming and everything." No. Arthur smiled hideously. There is no need for any unpleasantness. I'll be glad to tell you anything you wish to know." "Then where's my car?" "I don't know that." "We'll be outside if you need us, Anna." "No, don't go." Arthur's bottom lip got all a quiver. I do know something." "Mr. Corbould, you know everything I wish to know, and you will tell me." I will. Oh, yes. "Oh, yes, you will." Cornelius smiled at Anna. "You can wear my daddy's gardening apron if you want. Shame to get blood all over your T-shirt." I know where Hugo Rune is," gushed Arthur Corbould. It was still 3 minutes past 2, but at least it wasn't raining. "We'll have to walk," said Arthur Corbould, "although I could call you a cab." "You could," Cornelius agreed, "but it's a very old gag." "Eh?" said Tuppe. No, said Arthur. Call a cab. Call a cab to save the walk." Cornelius shook his head carefully. "The walk will do us good." "I prefer the cab," said Tuppe. "Not his cab, you wouldn't." "Quite so, Cornelius. Which way then, Mr. Corbould?" "This way." Arthur Corbould set off. His hands were tied at his sides. A rope had been secured around his neck. Anna held the end of this tightly. "It's just the other side of Kew Bridge," said Arthur Corbould. It's a good 10-minute walk from Moby Dick Terrace to Kew Bridge, and it was nearly 4 minutes past 2 by the time they got there. Nearly, but not quite. Halfway over the bridge they came upon a scene of no small singularity. A large green muscular thingy leaned upon the parapet. It was captured in the act of drawing on a hand-made cigarette, and wore a blissful look upon its gruesome visage. A few short feet behind it another figure was paused. This one was attired in a mud-bespattered underlinen, clasped in hands, held high above a face that wore an anything but blissful expression, was a shining blade. The second figure was frozen in the act of plunging down this blade into the large and vulnerable backside of the first. "Oh dear," said Arthur Corbould. "That's not supposed to happen. Would you mind if I just made 1 or 2 adjustments?" Cornelius smiled grimly. That would hardly be sporting. "But he's going to... Oh!" Arthur Corbould leapt into the air. "So sorry." Anna examined the tip of the power drill. "Keep that woman off me." "Get moving," said Cornelius Murphy. They stood before the house of Horvis. "This is it," said Arthur. "You can untie me now." "I think not." Cornelius looked up at the great dark house. It was a fine enough building, constructed to one of Sir John Soane's neoclassical designs, demonstrating his predilection for horizontal skylines and love of an aurora in the tympanum of the central pediment, this latter being a well-placed detail which, although small, conferred a certain distinction to the elevation. "And Hugo Rune is here." "Bottom bell," said Arthur, "the one marked A. Thoth." "A. Thoth?" Cornelius asked. "Well, you didn't expect it to read H. Rune." "Oh, I don't know. But then I don't really expect H. Rune to be in there." "But he is. Go on, press the button." Cornelius stretched forward a long, slim finger, but he could not quite bring himself to press the button. Somewhere inside his head, the needle of suspicion fluttered into the red zone. "Perhaps it would be better if you pressed it, Mr. Corbould." "With pleasure. Untie my hands." "Use your nose." "Oh, really?" Anna made little drilling noises with her mouth. Arthur craned his nose towards the bell push. Just a moment." Tuppe put up his hand to speak. "Before anyone presses anything, it's just a couple of small points I'd like cleared up." "Speak on, my friend," said Cornelius. "Well," Tuppe began, "I've been following all of this quite carefully, and if Hugo Rune really is in there, how's he going to open the door? I mean, if we're in a different time frame from everyone else on Earth, we'll be invisible to him, and he'll just be a statue to us. Oh, and the bell push wouldn't ring the bell, and will it? Remember the telephones and the bottles that won't pull and everything?" "Oh," said Cornelius. "Good points. What do you think, Mr. Corbould? Good points?" "Very good points." Arthur Corbould made an uneasy face, this being a face which now displayed signs of unease to an even greater degree than the one which he was previously wearing, which had already had a great amount of unease on it, so to speak. "Ideas, anyone?" "I have one," said Anna. "I thought you might," said Arthur Corbould. "Does it involve you sticking that drill up my bottom again?" "No, it involves you voiding the spell." "Void the spell?" Arthur took a step backwards, but just the one. Anna held him tightly by the halter rope. "I have no idea what you mean, young woman." "Oh, I think you do." Anna looped the rope around her hand and gave it a significant jerk. "This different time frame business sucks, and do you want me to tell you why?" Cornelius looked at Tuppe, and Tuppe looked at Cornelius. "Yes, please," he said. "Then I will. I don't pretend to understand how magic works. Before tonight, I would have doubted that it worked at all, but I do understand some things about the laws of motion. So tell me this. If we're all moving faster than a speeding bullet, how come we aren't experiencing friction from the surrounding air?"
If we were moving that fast under normal circumstances, we'd be glowing white hot by now, having first had the flesh ripped straight from our bones, of course. But we're not, Mr. Kobold, are we?
Said Arthur.
It would appear not, although I'm experiencing a degree of sweatiness at the present time. So, Anna continued, it is my supposition that we are held within some kind of protective cocoon, a magical cocoon.
She's good for a girl, isn't she? Said Tuppe to Cornelius. Anna turned a glare towards the small fellow.
You will get a smack, said she, if you make any more remarks like that.
Sorry, said Tuppe.
I should think so too. Now, if you and Cornelius would care to bend Mr. Kobold over, I will drill all the necessary details out of him.
No. Arthur edged his back to the wall.
No need for any of that. It is a spell, yes, but it's not my spell. It belongs to the governor. It's his special birthday spell. I'm not supposed to use it. Then why did you?
Because you stole the governor's favourite car. The alarm went off in my office. It seemed the best thing to do at the time. We couldn't have anyone seeing that car. The governor was asleep, so I used his spell. Why couldn't you have stolen one of the other cars? There's hundreds of them in there to choose from.
Hundreds?
Cornelius made with the open mouth. Oh dear, said Arthur Corbold. You didn't see all the rest then?
Void the spell, said Anna, and do it now.
I can't. It's more than my job's worth. The spell is only to be used once a year on the governor's birthday, and only by him. You'll just have to get used to life in the fast lane, I'm afraid. The total swine, said Tuppe. He never had any intention of returning us to our normal time.
Down with his pants, said Anna. I've had quite enough.
No, wailed Arthur. No.
Then void the spell. This is last time of asking.
All right. But you will have to untie my hands.
I'll be right behind you.
Anna gestured with the drill.
One dodgy move, and it's a steel suppository for you.
No dodgy moves, I swear.
Right then, Cornelius, untie his hands.
Certainly. Cornelius loosened the ropes. There now, he said, do your thing. Arthur pressed his fingers to his temples and began to rock gently on his heels, and then he uttered the magic words. They appeared to be the standard bogus Latin gobbledygook that you get in the movies. But then this wasn't movies, this was real life. Oh, yes. There was a crash, a bang, a wallop, and the sound of water going the wrong way down the plug hole, and then Cornelius felt the breeze on his face, and a million smells rushed into his nostrils. He opened his eyes, because evidently he must have closed them, and he saw that the world was right once more. Well, almost right. Anna was there, and Tuppe was there, but Mr. Kobold wasn't there, and neither were the ocarina, the route map, or runes annotated A to Z.